Welcome to Azure Data Factory Real-Time Scenarios 10. Copy multiple files from blob storage to Azure SQL database. So I have here three files. So the type of file can be any type. Okay. So it may be CSV file, Parquet file, text file, any files. And these three files should be loaded into my blob storage. That means I am saving these three files into blob storage. From the blob storage, I need to copy these three files all at a time into my SQL database using Azure Data Factory. So we are performing only one copy activity for these three files. We'll see here. So this is my source. Source is Azure Blob Storage, and this is my sink. Sink is Azure Data Factory. So in the source, I have three files. So I am copying into my sink single time at a time using Azure Data Factory. So what are the things we need to create? The first one is we should create a Azure Blob Storage, and we should upload three files or four files, five files, that depends upon your requirement. And then you need to create a sink Azure database, and inside the database you should create a pipeline. You should create a table. Now, and come under the Azure Data Factory, we need to create data sets, and one is source data set, one is sync data set, and two linked services. One is for blob storage, and one is for SQL database. And we need to perform certain operations here along with copy activity and a pipeline. So we'll see in the next scenario. So the following things are required. The first one is Azure Blob Storage. You should create before, and Azure Database, linked service for Blob Storage, linked service for Azure Database, along with Azure Data Factory. So you need to create Azure Data Factory also. So if you don't know how to create all those things, please watch my previous video, that is scenario number 9. So in that I have explained everything in detail. Now let me go to my portal, Azure portal. This is portal, and I'm coming to the storage. This is my source file. So under this is my Azure Blob Storage 20 is my source file. So in have a container. Under the container input, EMP is a folder. I have three files. So I need to copy all these three files into my Azure database. So let me see what type of files it is. This is a file, and it has a header. That's the most important thing here. And see. Now let me go to my database, Azure database, and this I already have created Azure database. And so this is my Azure database server, and it is my Azure database name. Name of Azure database is my Azure SQL database. Now let me go to home and go to data factories. So already have created a data factory. If you don't have, then press on create. Now let me open my Azure data factory. Click on open. So the Azure data factory will be open in new tab. Now come to the manage tab. So under the manage tab, I have already created my linked services. The first one is blob storage, and the second one is Azure SQL database. So come to here. So I have created source, I have created sync, I have created linked services. So the remaining things are left out of thing: data sets for source, data set for sync, and a copy activity along with other activities, and a pipeline is pending. So let me go to create first to data sets, then set of activities under the pipeline. So portal, and now go to pen. It is called author. Under the author, we have what data sets. Press here three dots and click on data set. And as we know that my data set is Azure Blob Storage. So click on and comma separated. That's called delimited. And give here the data set name. Data set source blob storage. Blob storage. And here link service, and here need to choose the only the path, not the files. So I'm choosing up to the folder emp and click on OK. And my first row has a header and okay. So I have completed my source. So which one I have completed? I have completed source data set. Now has to complete sync data set. Now go to one more same data set and create new data set, and my new data set is Azure SQL database, and you have to give proper naming data set, and it's a sync. Yes, sync Azure database, and you need to choose your, and you need to choose here file name and click on OK. So I have completed two data sets. Now let me go to pipeline and create a new pipeline. Give me the name of proper naming convention of pipeline. Pipeline dot inject data from blob from blob to Azure database. Data. This is my database name. Now let me come to see. So am I under pipeline? I need to create three activities. The first one is get metadata. The get metadata will get all the information about the file. So first one is get metadata, and we need to give a name get file metadata. So because it's getting the oh, file metadata, and settings, under the settings we need to create one more data set for file get metadata. So I don't have, I think so, no, I don't have data set for get metadata. So let me create is a blob and delimited, and we should data set, and it is I'm using only for get metadata. I'm not using for source or not, using for sync. So only just get metadata, and the link to service the same link to service I'm using as a source, and here input apply, just I'm not choosing here that going up to the folder. Okay, and first was a header, it's okay, naming convention. So I have completed. Now so let me run it, debug. So get meta cannot be empty, file it means file list cannot be empty. So we need to give here which one we required. We required chat items because how many files there in my blob storage, the get metadata should read it. Now debug. Now the debug has started and is queued success. So come under the output and check what type of files we have. So we have one is Chennai, Bangalore and Hyderabad. We have three files. Okay, so can we perform three times copy activities instead of doing all those things? So we are going to read for each activity. So just I'm using for each, and I'm so for each is dependent get file metadata. So I'm giving the name for this execute each activity, each file, otherwise execute each file. And under the settings we should give here items, click on add dynamic content and output, say get file metadata output dot child items dot. Okay, so we are completed. So now we have finished two things. Next thing is we need to go for activities under the each for each. So either we can click here, so you can click here, then we'll get it next page. So here we required copy activity, COPY, copy activity. Click on here and copy EMP data. Now let me give the source. Already I have source. This is my source blob storage, and let me open it. Under the source, I'm not giving any file name. So let me add dynamically. So here is parameters. So I'm saying here file name, because if I'm giving a specific file, so it will read only that file. But I want to read all the three files. That's the reason I'm adding here dynamic content. So that is file name. Under the connection, go here and again click dynamic, and you need to say file name. Now I have finished with both the things. Next, let me go to my pipeline. Now, let me go to, so once I change the here also change. So we need to give a pipeline. So here the we'll get output is the output of for each dot name. Okay, so I will show you why name it. Why name, and click on OK. Now go to sync. Under the sync, we need to select sync data set DS sync Azure database. This is my sync. So I think I have completed. Now let's validate it and debug. So my Bucket debugging has started. So I have said now I am using the file name there. So because I given here name, that's the reason I'm taking as name. See, all the data has copied. So means the first two, three, all files are copied. So first one is, see the first file reading finish. Okay, from where? From blob storage to Azure database. So both the three things are completed. See second one also, and third one also. See rows read is 6 and updated or written also 6. Let me go back to my Azure portal and go back to my database and open the database, and under the query editor and sign in with your username, and here we can check whether it is selected or copied or not or written or not. Start from emp. My database name is, sorry, my file name is emp. Click on run. See, all the data has been copied. Data has copied. Now let me check under my server also. So let me disconnect it because to show you. So here I am using here. So let me go to my portal and other database. Now database, and this is my server. So I'm just let me click on copied, and let me go to Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. So under that we should connect, and we should give here database name, server name, and login is authentication, and yours to give your username and password. Then click on connect. See, it has been connected. Now let me go to new query, and let me check to my database, and select start from emp. Click on execute. See, so total 27 records has been executed. So in this way, how can we in this way we can copy data from multiple files from blob storage to Azure database using Azure Data Factory. Thank you.